hard to imagine. That's difficult to understand, or difficult to comprehend. No comprende. No comprende means do not understand, and I don't even understand it, so that's a perfectly named thing. Getting male pattern baldness, my forehead's getting bigger, but like I don't care. I mean, what are you supposed to do when you get older? What are you supposed to do? Well, unless you're like a millionaire, then you want to make yourself look like a freaking cartoon character, and that's fine because I'm already a cartoon character. I'm like Droopy Dog or Deputy Dog or some shit like that, or Huckleberry Hound or some person like that. This record player skips a lot of records. It was a free record player, so what are you gonna do? You know, you can't say like, hey. You can say hey, but this is one of these, you plug it into the computer friggin' things. It's pretty old, and it's just basically just, a crappy thing, but like a good turntable that I have. CTR, CRTs, I don't know, everything's gotta have a goddamn acronym now. Scuba. I think they started with scuba and they just couldn't stop. Okay, so anyway, this was another TV that belonged to a friend of mine who I was with when I bought the other TV, but this is an 80s Sharp TV, and it's great because I love the static, because like the static is more interesting than half the YouTube videos I get recommended to me. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this photo album. It's not a photo album per se, but it was an album that people bought, and just look at that freaking cover. Isn't that awesome? I want to make a shirt out of that. And it's sort of fabric-y. It's kind of neat. This is from the late 60s, early 70s, but it was my mother's album that she took some of the things from magazines and cut them out, articles about sewing and stuff, because she liked sewing. She made My Sisters and I's clothing. My Sisters and I's clothing. Even when you try to use English properly, it just doesn't sound right, My Sisters and I's clothing. She made My Sisters and I's clothing, and some for my brother. But she would do matching clothes, and it was pretty cute. Anyway, this one is a neat little book. I want to show you this. This is, crochet stuff, right? So this was very big. It's coming back, apparently. Crocheting baby booties, which is neat. So you make little baby booties for the babies. There's a little, looks like a Christmas apron here. Kids making clothes for kids. And, she cut these out using her fabric scissors, because you could see the sort of serrated, what is that, serrated? I don't know. Whatever you'd call it, but that's that. And so she's cut these out here. And these are designs. These have all the schematics. Schematics? I don't know. What are you going to call it? These are all the directions. It's not a recipe, but it's similar to a recipe in that, But anyway, these are the beautiful things. These are the beautiful people. This is the hat. Actually, I think some of those are... Is that a mannequin and that's a real person? I don't know. AI. So that looks like a mannequin, right? But that looks like a real person. I don't know. That looks like a mannequin. That looks like a real person. That looks like a real person. That looks like a mannequin. Okay, so there's mannequins in the picture. Well, that's kind of freaky. Here are some handbags. So these are pretty cool. Like macrame was big. Macrame. This is a pair of pants. This is like my mom would make, you know, pair of pants with like a plane on it, you know, like soldiers, toy soldiers and stuff. She did a lot of that. Okay, so this is the interesting part, you know, for a couple different reasons. These are knit and crochet bikinis. Okay, well, you know, I guess, I don't know about those, so, like, let's take a look here. Alright. This is a whole deal. Let's pull it out, see if I can pull it out without ripping it. It's the pattern. Okay, we're gonna take this out. You know, because we're trying to, like, enjoy the things that we have, and, like, normally I'd be like, oh, don't take it out, you're gonna destroy it. But, like, nobody wants this stuff, alright? This is interesting memorabilia, but in terms of, like, people wanting this, nobody wants it. This is why this stuff ends up in the dumpster. But rather than just throw it directly in the dumpster, let's, like, check it out first before we toss it. And that's what I'm doing, because it's my mother's. My mother was a very creative person, and she is no longer with us, and she died early. But anyway, so this is the crochet bikinis. This must be the material requirements and sizes. And this is like a whole schematic. Yeah, so there's the whole thing, and this is how you do the cross stitching. I don't know what it's called. Illustration of crocheted bikini. So this is kind of neat. This is like an entire like thing. So this is cool. This is some of the things you can make with the crocheting. You know, this is I don't know, what is this? It was a magazine. Oh, you know what? She probably picked this up in the UK when she was in the UK visiting family. It was 8p. That does, I don't know. That's like 8 pence or 8 pounds. I don't know what the fuck. And here's another one there. That's just so this inside this is a booklet which has all the materials and the like. This is a tutorial, you know, crochet thing. This is 1, 2, 3 crochet, learn by doing primer. So that's kind of cool. Like people used to do it yourself before they had obviously internet access. And I love that picture. That's cool. Look at that. You know, that's neat. And people are into this now. This is great, you know. I know even people, really young people, are starting to get into that. And this is great because it's got my mama's handwriting here. You know, and I didn't know if this was actually my mom's, but then I saw that and I saw handwriting. Distinct handwriting, you know, that's the thing about your parents, is that you learn their handwriting, not only through, you know, forging notes to school, which I never really did, but you just get to know what your handwriting of your parents look like, and it's kind of neat when you see it after they've gone, because you're like, oh, their handwriting. I don't know if kids have that opportunity now, because nobody does handwriting anymore, because everyone's goddamn, you know, too involved with their telephones. And, what the fuck is this? Like, maybe Good Housekeeping or something like that. She would find these in there. That's pretty cool. Look at that, you know? Like, that's the kind of stuff I think people are into now. This is funny. This is on the back of the ad. It's a picture, an ad for something on the back of the thing. Mother went to work. I don't know where she worked. But so this is like, you know, these are my mom's. Yeah, but here it is. Crochet bikini and all. Look at that cover. Like, just, you know, and it's like this material. It is just, it's beautiful, you know. Not done by AI. Done by hand. Someone did this, right? Someone designed it. Someone, you know, drew this on a drafting table. Not in a fucking computer. It's just neat. So yeah, that's part of my collection. The things that I saved out of the dumpster, things that were my mother's that like meant a lot to her, and then she died, and it was like, what are we gonna do with this? I don't know. Just toss it. Well, I saw value in it. I thought it was interesting, just based on the crochet bikinis alone. I mean, that's like, I never, I don't know. Can't imagine how that would work. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Like, I know people who are into crocheting. So now I'm going to try to find them and give them this. And they probably won't want it. They probably don't care about this stuff from the 70s. It is, like, helpful information, maybe. But it's, dated. But it's not dated. I mean, because how much technology has impacted crocheting since the 1970s? I don't know, maybe they have better needles. Knitting needles? Do you use knitting needles with crochet? That's how dumb I am. I don't know. Macrame. I made a macrame plant hanger in the 70s in art class. It was great. I had to wear a smock. Wear a smock? It was like one of your dad's old shirts. But if you didn't have a dad, you'd be like, oh, I have to like go buy a smock. I'd go to the smock store and buy a smock because I don't have a dad. But I had a dad, so it was cool. He was like traveling salesman, so like he was there most of the time, and sometimes he had to go away, and it was sad. But what are you gonna do? It's like he needed to like make money. So anyway, yeah. I like it like that better. Well, it's that time of year again. It's the end of the year, and that's that time again. And like with everything, it's like people wonder why there's such a frenzy and a panic and a rushing and a hustle and bustle. I always like hustle and bustle. It's like sounds like a dance. And then where's the hustle? So yeah. Anyway, but hustle and bustle of the last parts of the year, and this is what I found. The last parts of the year are kind of like a record. When the record is like on the outside, it's all good, right? Because it's going around at 33 1/3, and it sounds good. As you get closer to the center of the record, it gets faster and faster, and the sound is not as good as it was on the beginning of the record. But the end of the record, they have to squeeze all that information in, and it's all distorted, and it's fast, and it's like a frenzy. It's like the end of the year, and like, I got it! People are just like losing their shit, including me. I'm just like, I'm angry when I get bullied on the road, and that's the way I look at it. I look at it as if I'm being bullied. And I got bullied in school. I don't like fucking bullies, and like I can't like hold back when somebody like bullies me on the road. Like it really overcomes me, and it's just overwhelming. Like, not only do I want to get back at the bully for everything that happened to me, in my childhood, but then I think of the people who like actually, the kids who fucking killed themselves because they got bullied by assholes like that. So I kind of like double down, like I want to bully that bully. I want to like stop that bully from bullying other people, and I want to like do something about him. And it's not really, it's not something that you should do. You really shouldn't. And I really want to, but like every time it happens, I get embarrassed by the time I am finished with the whole thing that I overreacted. And that's because of the bullying thing. Like, first you want to get back at that bully that bullied you, and then you want to get back at the bully that like harmed, kids who were just like 16 and who ended up like taking their lives because they got bullied. So you want to like double down and fucking go off. You can't do it because it's not that one bully's fault for all the things. And in your mind, you sort of like consolidate all these wrongs, and you assign blame to that one random person, which is not something you should do. And I'm trying to tell myself this because it's important to not die. So in all seriousness, like, somebody pissed me off getting off an exit because they cut right in front. You know, I'm in a truck, and then like they try to get off the exit, so at the last minute they fucking cut in, and it drives me nuts because I didn't think anyone would try to get in between me and a tractor trailer, but I found out that no, there was a group of folks who are gonna do shit like that at the last minute to get off the exit. So, and I'm just like retelling it just makes me like really upset because I end up acting like someone I don't like. You know, like you end up doing things and being like, bah! You shouldn't be like that. You know, and when you have a calm, reflective moment, you can tell yourself, boy, I fucked up. You know, I overreacted when that person did that. I sort of took all of the infractions in my life, you know, people who did shit like that, and I put them in one bundle and I assigned it to that one person. You can't do that shit in any way, in anything, in life, you know, because you do that. You say, all those people in my past that I had a problem with are all now consolidated into one person, doing the same or similar or not even similar things that those people did to me years ago. So it's really, you have to kind of tell yourself things like that. You have to talk yourself through these things, not to get mad, not to react. I was talking to my buddy, you know, today or the other day about this, and yeah, it's hard. You know, you want to react, you want to like lash out, you want to say, I'm tired of getting bullied on the road, and that's what we're getting bullied. I'm getting bullied by like everybody. You know, and that's not because I'm driving 20 miles under the speed limit. I'm driving 10 to 15 over, and it's still not good enough. I don't know. What are you going to do? But anyway, people have fancy cars, and they want to like vroom, vroom, vroom. And I'll do vroom, 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 but not in my Ford Escape. Anyway, they call it an Escape because you get in it and you can just take off somewhere. And sometimes I really want to take them up on the offer. So, in all seriousness, I had that problem at the exit. It was about 5 o'clock on a Friday. And it really, like, just, you know, I start to calm down and then something like that happens and it, you know, it really brings it up and I'm working on it. But anyway, about an hour later, somebody in a similar truck, you know, I have an old Penske, and this was an old U-Haul, slammed into the back of a tanker. And it caused like a 4-car accident. The driver of the U-Haul, you know, was trapped in the vehicle, taken to the hospital by helicopter. I don't know, you know, how he's doing. It's not clear what his condition is. It turns into a major accident. That could have been me, you know, in the parallel universe or the quantum leap universe or whatever universe we're in now with the flying amoebas and, you know, orbs and drones and... We had a problem on Christmas Eve. No, it was Christmas night. I was coming home from visiting my mother-in-law. You know, she lives in a facility. It was a residential facility for seniors. And, you know, I had my kid in the car, my wife, and we're driving back. And this asshole... Okay, Massachusetts plates, driving a Tesla. Okay, that's the 2 things I want to hear. Driving this close to our bumper and then like on a very windy road and then like passing us and then brake checking us. And, you know, this is Christmas night. I'm like, you guys take a fucking break. You know, it's like this guy with his fucking $80,000 car, you know, electric car, and he's like, you know, giving us a hard time in the Kia, you know, and we're just like back from the, you know, my wife was driving probably the speed limit or 5 over, you know. I don't understand, you know, being Christmas night. Can't you just like take a break? Just take a, you know, a night or something? I mean, I don't know. But they don't. I mean, it's just awful. So those are the things I think about. And it's hard, you know, it's becoming harder to sort of let it go. Let it go, let the baby have his bottle. He's, you know, obviously that guy has some problems. Everybody has problems now. Really, the librarian or the lady that cut me off or the guy, you know, the young kid or the old, you know, it's just like everybody's like got a bad day. Is everybody having a bad day? Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You know, hey, aliens, sorry, come back later. We're just having a bad day. You know, we'll clean the place up a little bit, make it look nice, and when you come back, you'd be like, well, I guess we're not going to kill them all. I don't know, maybe just keep a couple. They're kind of funny, you know. Maybe that's why I'm going to be saved. You know, that's the real saved, you know, like, we're saved from religion, whatever. The real saved is like from the fucking, take some kind of like a putty knife, you know, and just scrape it across the planet Earth. And it's like, let's start this over. I need some things to strip this down to like the basics back here, and then we'll start over. Okay. Wouldn't that be interesting if that was like the case, you know? I mean, people are really concerned that that this is something, and I think it's something, but like it kind of fits into the narrative that I've been kind of like talking about for quite a while, and have had experiences that sort of push you in that direction, you know, that we're not alone or that there's something else. I think the real kicker is going to be when we realize that we're, you know, our place in the food chain or the place in the universe. You know, here's religion telling us all that we're the center of the universe. Well, God is, but you're like, you know, God's gift to whatever. So, like, there's a connection there, meaning that we have a direct connection with the creator of everything, which puts us on a different level than, like, all the other animals and things like that. And that's not really the case. So, be interesting to find out and to watch as these religions try to shoehorn their beliefs into the making sense of this. See, this is the thing in the Bible we talked about. This is the wheel in the sky. This is the Star of Bethlehem. It's a drone. That's the whole time when the three wise men were following it. They were following a drone. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe, oh, these things are devils. You know, they're going to be thinking that the biological creatures are going to be like devils, or some will embrace them as angels. How's that? That's how simple, you know, the mind is. Like, we got two choices for you. We've got Coke or Pepsi, Republican or Democrat, and we've got, you know, God or no God. And it's not always like that. It's like there's black and white, and nobody wants to go there, because once you're in one section, then the people who are in your section pull you back or beat you down if you say that you believe in something, and you're supposed to be part of this two-tiered thing, or two separate things. You know, everything's got to be divided into like two camps, you know. Everything's got two answers, right? Wrong or right, you know, and then like no one can agree what the answers are. Either they're wrong or right, but there's not like just two answers, and there's not just two things. And I don't know why they just decided that to organize a civilization or society, part of the organization involves like getting people to you know, go with either choice. Two choices. Maybe it's easier. If you have three choices, it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't know, the one in the middle, you know, and it's never the right one. So I just wanted to bring up this record. This is incredible stuff. I think this is a boot. I don't know if this is a bootleg like label or if it's just an import. It's got the import tag on it, but I don't know if this is a legit thing. What it is oh, it says it's in stereo. I don't know if it is, but it's soundtrack stuff. I think it's lifted directly from the films of like sound effects and different things. So I'm gonna try to put on a little piece of it. Yeah, this stuff might be taken directly from the film itself, and then they just kind of like rechannel it for stereo by adding like, you know, reverb and making it into a bigger sound. You know what I'm talking about. So this is the label. So like, is this a boot? Oh, this is fucking cool. Oh man. Yeah. I'll have what he's having. This is great. I really wish I could post this. I don't know if I should, you know? But I'm a big fan of like kung fu stuff, you know? I noticed that kung fu video I posted had like thousands, hundreds of thousands of hits and whatever. Good, I brought it to the attention of people. Now go out and buy it, you know, or whatever. It's probably going to get taken down. Like the Wu-Tang Clan apparently are real big fans of stuff like this, and I think they bought the rights to a lot of the things, like scenes in the movie were bought by the Wu-Tang Clan. So it's kind of interesting and kind of like cool that they had the forethought to like say we want to preserve this, you know, because this, again, this DVD is just a throwaway DVD, yet it has like some value, and people like the Wu-Tang Clan recognize that, as do I, which puts me on the same level as the Wu-Tang Clan. I don't know, I don't think so. Fucking with you. This is great. This is dialogue from the movie. You know, I forget which movie. Like, I don't know Bruce Lee movies that well. I should know. I know like Enter the Dragon or Home of the Dragon or Home of the Whopper. I don't know. Is it Dragon? Enter the Dragon. And it has that guy from the $6 Million Man who's a bad guy. What the fuck is his name? Black hair, like kind of receding, and like always played he played in the Bigfoot episode of $6 Million Man. John something or other. John something or other. He was apparently like a martial artist as well as an actor. He always played a bad guy, like I was saying in that $6 Million Man episode. It was Bigfoot, and he like, the realization was that it was not a real Bigfoot, which bummed me out, by the way. If you're a fan of the $6 Million Man Bigfoot times, as I am, as that was like my, let's see, 6 years old, you know, that was like 8 years old. Definitely like big influence on me, the $6 Million Man, because I was like, that's a lot of money. I someday would like to aspire to have that much money. That's not true, but Ted Cassidy was Lurch, you know, and Lurch was like, he lurched, you know, it's like Lurch, that's how he got his name one day. He's like, hey, and they're like, hey, you lurched. That's how he got his name, Lurch. From the Addams Family, Lurch. Like one day he was like, oh, and they're like, hey, you're Lurch, because he lurched, you know. I mean, he could have done something else, that would have been terrible. People are like, everybody was what? Everybody was doing something. It was the 70s after all. And Scatman Crothers, holy shit. Saw the beginning of this black exploitation film, and Scatman Crothers did the intro, and he was a musician in like the 20s and 30s, and it is fucking amazing. It's Scatman Crothers intro to a movie. I forget, it's a very controversial movie, and some people like thought it was just exploiting the exploitation, and some people just thought it was exploiting. Constituents sounds like a stitching, like some kind of like a fabric store thing, like all constituents are 50% off, just look for the yellow barb. It's like Barb. What do you mean Barb? Like Barb? Look for Barb. Hey Barb, how you doing? No, it's a barb. It's like a plastic thing. Those little plastic things you find on newer clothing, like new clothing. You don't find them on used clothing. Well, sometimes you do, because people put them on. People have vintage barb, you know, tools that they can put barbs into anything they want. So they just go crazy and put barbs into their drum set, barbs on their CDs and stuff. It's awful. It's like a collector's, when the collector really kind of starts to lose it. Are you collecting stuff for a psychological reason? And does it make you happy? Is it a replacement for something? Are you collecting things because you're trying to, you know, compensate for something else in your life? Are you collecting things because you think, you know, you want to save them because they're gonna like be thrown in the trash? Is it a Winnebago? Yes, it is a Winnebago. What do I win? What do I win? I win a Winnebago. That's hard to imagine. Hard to imagine. Hard to imagine. That's hard to imagine. I don't know. I can't. Hard to imagine.